The Queen's speech is done and dusted, but is it going to be plain sailing from here on in? Somehow, I don't think it is. The Queen's speech is done, but still no deal done with the DUP though. And the Tory manifesto that now isn't even worth the same as the loo roll I wiped my a-hole on about 10 minutes ago. The DUP are asking as one of their deals £2 billion for their infrastructure and for the NHS. Can Theresa May do that though? You would think not. But if she is that desperate, and she does, what does that mean for our NHS, our school meals, our deficit? Will she go against the funding that we are crying out for just to get a deal with the DUP? And if she goes for it, where on earth did she get the £2 billion from? And what makes the DUP think that the money is there in the first place? But many of the manifesto pledges were left out of the Queen's speech. Whatever happened to the cap on energy bills? That wasn't mentioned. And don't forget, energy bills were set to rise 28%, and we paid $1.4 billion in excessive price hikes on energy bills last year alone. Now, as reported by The Guardian, Money Supermarket said 77 fixed energy deals were set to expire before the end of April this year, leaving average households typically facing a £200 a year increase to around £1,100 a year for gas and electricity. So considering the Tory manifesto pledge a cap on this, and it wasn't mentioned in the Queen's speech, are we going to be out of pocket yet again under a Conservative government? But what about school funding? After being subjected to cuts and teachers complaining about there not being enough money in education, May then promised in a manifesto to pump £4 billion into schools. But now that seems to be the furthest thing from her mind when the Queen read out the speech. So are the promises in the manifesto that were so highly praised by many voters and party MPs now fallen by the wayside? But the thing that concerned me the most was the fact that when the Queen mentioned the tragedy that is Grenfell, it was mentioned that lessons will be learned. And I'm sure they will, but in my view there was no mention of anyone being made to answer what went wrong. Now, a public inquiry of course is different to an inquest, the latter being a more independent investigation and an inquiry being done internally. Maybe giving these guys a chance to pay number 10 a little visit and placed on standby. All in all, it doesn't look very good. She still doesn't have an overall majority, and she has to hope and pray that over the next few weeks MPs may just agree on her Queen's speech and start to make things happen. Brexit, of course, being the opener and the main part of the speech. Is this the only thing that the Tory voters are getting for their money? Now, no doubt many voters read the manifesto hoping for a brighter future under the Conservatives, but I would like to think all Tory voters read the manifesto. I did, and I'm not even a Tory voter, but if you selected the party on the manifesto in its entirety, are you now getting a party that really can only concentrate on one thing at a time, and anything outside Brexit will fall away? I feel we are so focused, the government is so concentrated on Brexit, everything will just suffer. Other things that need urgent attention will be forgotten about. MPs, Parliament is there to be our voice and represent us. But are they? Brexit seems to be the only subject that everyone is trying to get the best of, and that's not a bad thing. But when it's finally done and dusted, we will have to, as a nation, not just as a government, have to turn around and pick up the pieces of whatever has been left behind. And by that time, will it be too late? We have to unite together on all policies, not just an amalgamation of many little ones into one on one subject. Because united, we can have a better society and a better political system. Did you see the Queen's speech? Did you pick anything out in particular? If you did, let me and others know what you thought. Place a comment in the box below. But first, click subscribe so you don't miss out on the debate. And just one last thing. The time now is 8:15 when I'm recording this. I've just seen the music video for the Grenfell charity song. And it was tough viewing for me, and I wasn't even there. We cannot, under any circumstance, let this be forgotten. The police are doing their own criminal investigation, but we have to keep this in the public eye. This cannot be brushed under the carpet. Not at all. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now. How fucking hot is it in here? Fuck's sake. That's nice, that.